Well, we're back at the Brajani Gym for the main event tonight. Following the boys' Proctor Phantom victory over Long Trail, we now have the Proctor Lady Phantoms taking on Mount St. Joseph Academy Mounties. I'm here, of course, with Wade Mitchell, Hall of Fame coach. Wade, what do you think is the key to this game?
Well, this is going to be an interesting game. A week and a half ago, all you heard was MSJ is the #1 team in the Division 4. Nobody else was given a chance to beat them. Now, Proctor beat them at MSJ, so it's a whole new ball game again. MSJ may be #1, but they are not undefeated #1. I think you're going to see that MSJ's got to score with Eaton and Monica. And
Schmelzenbach, yeah.
Yep. And the Phantoms have got to stop the Rapino. She had 15 points against them over there. She's only a freshman. But they're going to have to watch her very closely. You can't give her 15 points.
I think that one of the things about this particular matchup is, and I think unlike West Rutland, I think Proctor matches up very well with MSJ.
Yep.
They're probably a little bit better on the inside. Their size seemed to bother MSJ. Proctor did a better job off the boards, and they were able to contain Schmelzenbach and Eaton. Eaton only had 5 points in the first matchup. Schmelzenbach had 15, but she wasn't able to go off for 25 or 30. In the meantime, Abby McKieran had 20 points in that game, and you had a couple of other Phantoms scoring 8 to 10 points. My guess is if Proctor can get 25 points from the rest of the team besides whatever Abby McKieran does, they're going to come out of this pretty well.
I was interested the matchup the last game. The Phantoms put Sierra on
Schmelzenbach.
Yeah. And that was a surprise move on my part. She did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. He traded off with Isabel Valerio and Sierra Thornton, and I think they actually kind of wore them down a little bit. I also think that the Proctor girls play better in this gym. It's a little bit smaller, and they're more of a size team this year, unlike other years where they would run more. And I think that this gym suits the style of play that they play.
Hopefully we'll find that out here. Jenna Thornton, and she's missed everything. She doesn't make mistakes. Get 4 or 5 points out of her, I'll be happy.
Number 13, senior captain, Adam Garrett. And number 20, senior captain, Olivia Murray. And managers are coached by Chris Hughes and assisted by Lisa Hughes and Jacob Tanner. At this time, would you please rise and move your caps for the playing of the national anthem?
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets roared loud, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was
Well, running down the starting lineups for both sides, the Mounties will start Jenna Eaton, Gabby Giancola, Izzy Harvey, Shannon Elms, and Monica Schmelzenbach. And as usual for the Lady Phantoms, it'll be Sierra Thornton, Abby McKieran, Olivia Valerio, Alexis Bride, and Emma Reichert.
Sorry.
You wouldn't get many more people in this gym.
Oh, it's nicely packed right now. We're going to have a noisy MSJ cheering section off to our right. We have WSYB Radio also present, and other members of the press. I saw Jack Healy and Tom Haley is here, among others. And there's the tip. Olivia Valerio controls the tip, and ball goes over to Reichert, back to...
Straight man-to-man, MSJ.
Yeah. Waiting for McKieran to come off that screen. Proctor running the flex. Someone has to go to the ball, and that is Sierra Thornton. Ball goes over to McKieran. Looking for a lane. Ball screen off a second one. Libby goes back door. And nice pass by Sierra Thornton.
Great play.
Proctor takes a 2-0 lead very early in the game. Gabby Giancola outside. Hits a 2. And it's knotted up. Olivia penetrates and kicks, gets the ball back inside. Ball over to Bride, who does one of those sort of out of control heaves at the rim. Back comes MSJ, of course, now outside with Schmelzenbach. Elms on the inside, blocked by Valerio. And here comes Olivia bringing the ball up. That's Elms, gets the ball stolen from behind. And here comes McKieran, looking for her shot. Olivia on the outside. High screen by McKieran. Ball swung over to Sierra Thornton. Olivia Valerio again on the outside. Emma Reichert picks up the loose ball foul. That's her first, team's first. They're going to need Emma Reichert in this game. She can come up with 8 or 10 points. That's going to help a lot.
Absolutely.
Olivia all right. Couldn't see through that mess, but out of the mess comes Abby McKieran. I couldn't see through Coach Elliott there. He takes up a lot of space.
It was Abby, I guess.
And was it a push-off?
I couldn't tell.
Apparently Abby McKieran just picked up her first foul. Couldn't see what happened. Screened on the play. Nevertheless, here comes MSJ. Game is tied.
Go through, switch.
Travel. This time
5-second call.
Oh, 5-second call.
Yep. You don't see that every day.
Not when they're just standing there looking at each other, but I guess the defender was close enough. Bride up top. She travels.
And what was that call? Okay. I thought that's the call, and went the other way, which I thought.
Some of the noise in the place is making it a little bit difficult to hear and understand what's going on. Nice pass inside, and Emma Reichert picks up the foul and gets to the line.
Foul's on Monica.
Reichert dribbles in the first one. Every possession, every point is contested in this game.
Ooh.
And Reichert hits both. Phantoms up 4-2. Jump ball. Everybody on the floor. Everybody on the boards. That's the way that every possession of this game is going to go, I think.
Triangle, go.
They're definitely feeling each other out.
Schmelzenbach from outside, off the mark. McKieran with the rebound that time. Ball up to Sierra Thornton. Another turnover by Bride. That's 3 turnovers really early in the game, and that's not going to help. You've got to make sure that every possession counts in a game that's going to be as close as this.
You can run clear if you want to. Run clear. Clear through.
Getting ready to check into the game is Isabel Valerio. McKieran up on Jenna Eaton. Olivia Valerio staring down Elms.
Proctor ball.
Sierra Thornton in on the on that weak side rebound. Isabel Valerio now in the game.
Comes Rapino now.
Yeah, Rapino in the game for the Mounties.
Go ahead.
Olivia Corbett checking in the game. Apparently, Eaton has a blood issue.
Yep.
Foul that time on
Rapino.
number 25, Rapino, who just checked into the game. As we said in the opening, she's a freshman. McKieran from the corner, off the mark, but there's Sierra Thornton on the board.
Again.
Olivia Valerio looking at the hoop outside. Ball outside to Thornton. Olivia Valerio now posts up in the low block. Little weave off the screen. Isabel had lost her dribble up top. Abby McKieran V-cuts to the ball. And Proctor maintains possession. Going to want to look for Olivia on the block, because I don't think that, any of them can actually keep with her from a quickness standpoint. Nice hustle by Reichert that time.
Oh, that's 2.
McKieran goes to the hoop.
2 on Monica.
15 second.
Second foul on Monica Schmelzenbach. And Jenna Eaton checks back in the game. Olivia Corbett, actually Schmelzenbach checks out. I was wondering if they were gonna do that. McKieran tries to go to the hoop. No luck. Here comes Eaton. McKieran gets back and puts her right into a double team. Reichert on the floor, but the ball stays with MSJ.
Both teams still feeling each other out.
Well, they're battling for every possession. I think they're throwing some haymakers here defensively. Both teams are excellent on the defensive end, and just waiting for somebody to make a run. Going one-on-one against Abby McKieran is not usually the best thing you can do. Double dribble. Caught in a double team. That was a Valerio double team sandwich right there. And
that was a good move.
And she double dribbled the ball, and ball turns over to the Phantoms with 2:05 left. Phantoms with a 4-2 lead. There's Olivia on the inside. Nice inside out to Reichert. Over to Isabel. Olivia on the boards. Gets the rebound but gets stripped.
Rugged down under.
Ball off McKieran in the rebounding action that time.
The points are hard to come by early.
Absolutely. Two good defensive teams. Isabel Valerio picks up that foul, going for the steal.
I thought she had it.
That's her first, team's third.
Girls, Olivia, keep going, Olivia, keep coming through. There you go. Quick one. Screen, come on, screen. High low.
Nice steal by Sierra Thornton, and here they come on the fast break. Came a little too far, and Jenna Eaton falls on the rebounding action, slides across the floor, and that's a traveling call.
Ooh.
Eaton picks up that foul. That's her first foul, team's fifth. Ball into McKieran. Abby's got to look for those rollers on those high picks. There goes Reichert all the way to the hoop. It's kind of clotheslined that time by Elms.
That's 2 on her.
I guess they called the foul on the floor.
Rapino.
That's Rapino's second. Reichert swings the ball. There's Olivia in the middle. Off the glass.
Nice move.
Good pass by
Pretty play.
sister Isabel. And Proctor takes a 6-2 lead. I think Olivia thought she had all ball that time, but I guess when you do that swatting action at the ball, whether you get the ball or the arm, they're going to call that foul. Better to go straight up and contest the shot, see what happens next. And Elms is way off the mark on that one. That's Olivia's first foul, team's fourth.
Okay, no quick push.
Hits the second. Ball comes into McKieran for the last 21 seconds. You'd like to see Proctor get the last shot here. And Reichert just dribbles the ball directly out of bounds.
Not the one you want with the ball.
Well, not in that situation. You can't do 3 and 4 dribble drives with a good defensive team. If you can get 1 and 2 dribble drives, you're in good shape. Rapinoe outside. And she hits the 2 just like she did at the end of the first quarter in the first game.
Identical. Same shot.
And the MSJ faithful voiced their pleasure. However, Proctor does maintain a 6-5 lead at the end of the first quarter. 6-5. It's like a football game.
Yeah.
A bad football game. Of note in that first quarter is Abby McKieran was held scoreless.
She didn't have many looks.
But that's not, I don't think that's going to happen for the rest of the game. Eventually, even if it's off of steals or something else, she's going to get something going to the hoop. So I think if Proctor looked at the game and said, look, you're going to have a 6-5 lead after 1 and Abby hasn't scored, they'd go, we're in pretty good shape.
Yep, we'll take it.
Lexi Bride checks into the game for Reichert. Ball should come into MSJ. On the floor for the Phantoms, Isabel Valerio, Olivia Valerio, Abby McKieran, Sierra Thornton, and Lexi Bride. Isabel Valerio all over that dribble. Gets in there and ties up.
Phantom ball.
Gabby Giancola. I like what the Phantoms have been doing the last couple of games is getting Olivia Valerio on the block or in positions where she can go one-on-one. Now steal that time, too much dribble. No, rebound off the mark, Thornton comes away with it. Abby attempting to get to the rim, does get there. Proctor's got to stop the ball. And Rapinoe picks it up and drops it in and gives MSJ the first lead, 7-6. Proctor works best when it's moving the ball well. Olivia all the way to the hoop that time.
Drive to the hoop.
Little crossover, a nice screen by Lexi Bride, puts Proctor up by 1. Abby with the ball, and there comes Sierra Thornton. Bounce pass into McKieran, who picks it up for 2. That's a great play by Sierra Thornton, a good finish.
10-7, Phantoms.
Isabel Valerio giving Gabby Giancola a little bit of difficulty out there on the outside. I don't think she likes to put the ball down in front of her. Ooh, push off that time.
Push off is right.
Yeah, they aren't liking this defense. Gabby Giancola foot on the. That's a 2-pointer. Good call. Had her foot on the line. Little pick and roll.
Take it.
And nice pass, and boy, that looked a little ugly, but it went in anyway.
Oh boy.
Eaton from way outside, long rebound. Takes another one. Off the mark again. This time Olivia gets the rebound. And she brings it up herself over to sister Isabel. Back to Olivia. She had to look at that shot. Nevertheless, ball over in the corner to Abby McCarron, who gets the ball into Lexi Bride and picks up the foul.
13's first, team 7.
Fouls on Shin Elms. Her first, team's 7th. That'll put Proctor in the bonus for the remainder of the half.
13's first.
Lexi Bride going to the line. She hasn't had a lot of confidence at the line this year, but she does have a good stroke, and I know she can put that in. See, all I gotta do is talk trash about somebody, and I guarantee you they're gonna drop them. That's her first. Proctor opens up a 4-point lead.
Where might this one land? Bingo.
Oh, just off the mark. But guess who's there? Sierra Thornton again. I'll tell you what, Sierra Thornton has not scored a point, and she is one of the main reasons that Proctor is up.
In on every single play.
It's just, to be perfectly honest, it's what I saw every game in AAU. You put her in, she never gets tired. She doesn't care if she scores, and she fills up every other thing in the stat line.
Never complains. I've never seen her complain since I've been watching her.
She's all MVL in soccer, all MVL in softball, and
the sad part is she's going to go as a non-scorer and not going to make the MVL in basketball. But those of us who see her every day, she's on that team.
Absolutely. And she ends up picking up the toughest player on defense, if they're at least if they're a 1, 2, or 3. There's Rapino on the inside.
She's doing it again to us.
Well, part of that, I think, is that that's not a good matchup for Lexi Bride, I don't think. And she finishes a 3-point play. Emma Reichert on the boards, nice job. Swing pass to Olivia. Comes off that high screen, nice pass inside. Misses the shot.
She got to set herself on that. She had all kinds of time. She had the position.
Off green, ball goes over to Proctor. This is everything you could expect in a game like this so far. Proctor leading 13-12. High screen for Lexi Bride. Ball over in the corner to Olivia Valerio. Looks for Lexi in the middle. To Emma Reichert in the middle. Swings the ball over to Lexi Bride. Proctor's got to look left and swing the ball on both sides. Sometimes they get so right-hand dominant. Another turnover. And this time ball goes in. Sierra picks up the foul. The thing that I didn't like on that particular play is, unfortunately, Emma turned that ball over and then trotted back. Never crossed half court on that play. And it's all right to turn the ball over. Everybody makes mistakes, but you got to get back on defense. Rapino's becoming a thorn in the side of the Phantoms. I bet you that the other folks out there are happy to see Rapino go off the floor. Her size and, frankly, athleticism was causing some trouble. Boy, you can't give up that play. That's Proctor's own play. Now you got MSJ with a 3-point lead.
Look at her again.
Sierra Thornton in on the play. You know, hate to say it, but you know, Lexi is causing some trouble on the offensive end. She's got to be much more patient. It's all right to pass the ball a couple of times, and as soon as I say it, she goes to the hoop and scores one. But you know, you've seen a number of turnovers and just wild shots off the rim.
I haven't seen her look at the hoop yet when she shot, but yet it goes in. Who am I to comment?
We'll take it, but you know, an extra pass or two would be a good idea. Off the mark, and there's Reichert in for the rebound. Olivia Valerio comes down with that next rebound. Nothing. Ball, I guess, hit the underside of the backboard on the battle for the loose ball. Back comes MSJ down by one, or up by one. Abby McKieran goes for the steal. Jenna Eaton off the mark with the jump shot. Advancing the ball with the pass. Olivia trailing the play. She had to look for that shot where she can step right into it. A little bit too much dribble. That screen wasn't even used. That time a turnover by Emma Reichert, putting herself on the floor. Good play. Ties up MSJ. Next possession will go over to Proctor.
The tension is really high out there. It's amazing. You could cut it with a knife.
Push Gabby through. Push Gabby through. There you go.
Lexi with the ball would have been well to just catch it and wait for everybody to come back, but I understand the instinct. Ball off of MSJ looked like. Ooh. Well, I don't have the best angle from here, I guess. Nevertheless, it's MSJ ball out of bounds. Emma Reichert takes out Sierra Thornton, but only temporarily. Here comes Abby McKieran on the run. This is where you like to see her. See if she can split that middle and spin that ball in. Not that time. Reichert, good job on the inside.
He throws the ball away again. Tell you, MSJ, you got to give him credit for playing Monica with 2 fouls on her. She easily could pick up that third.
Oh, it looked like some good defense there by McKieran. That ends up being her second. 1:21 left in the first. They might want to think about getting Abby out with 1:21 left. You don't want her to pick up a third in the first half. Rapino getting ready to step back into the game. Eaton off the mark with that shot. Replacing Izzy Harvey. Eaton goes for her second. Misses that one too. Reichert tracks down the rebound that time. And Proctor calls a timeout. Both teams seem to be having difficulty getting any kind of good shots off.
Can't get any rhythm going.
The one player where I think that this a bit smaller gym has a negative impact on her game is Abby McKieran, because she doesn't have that space to spread out the floor and then drive the lane.
Yep.
And they've done a pretty good job. Actually, they've done a great job. They've held her to 2 points so far.
And only 2 or 3 shots, period. Other than her drive down the lane.
Yeah, she's not even really getting shots off at this point. But she is playing within herself and not turning the ball over, handling the ball, and doing all the other things you got to do to win games. Ball into Sierra Thornton. See if they can swing it left. Now the weave off a double screen. Proctor maintains possession. Foul on the floor. Let's see who that's on. Foul on 15. That's Monica Schmelzenbach, and that's her third.
That's her third.
And that spells a little bit of trouble.
That's crushing right there.
Yeah. Shannon Elms coming into the game.
That definitely hurts.
Schmelzenbach out. And Abby McKieran better be careful, or she'll be in the same boat with 55 seconds left. I tell you, I'd be taking her out if I were Coach Hughes at this point. But I'm not Coach Hughes. Rapinoe in for the rebound that time. McKieran with that rebound. And here they come. Can't take the ball to the big. But there she is. .27 seconds. McKieran air ball from 3. Not a smart play at all. You'd like to take that time off the clock. Now you got MSJ looking for one shot.
Oh. Well, she might have picked one up there.
Yeah, very lucky. Ball off the mark, and that's the end of the half.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the worst halves I've seen Proctor play all year, and they're only down by 1. So 16-15.
To the number 1 team in Division 4, and
absolutely.
And you're right, they didn't play their best half. I will say this: that even it's not looking pretty, but they are working very hard.
They're working hard, but they're just not getting the job done. Kill them.
Loose balls and balls that aren't even so loose. Proctor's on the floor for, so you know they're laying it out there. We'll just go down a little bit of the scoring here. You got Eaton with 2. There's going to be a lot. You got Eaton with 2, Gabby Jean Cola with 4, Shannon Elms with 1, Monica Schmelzenbach with 2, and Rapinoe with 7. For the Phantoms, Abby McKieran has 2, Olivia Valerio has 8, Lexi Bride has 1. Actually, she has 3. Emma Reichert with 2, and for a total of 15. Halftime score 16-15 with MSJ holding a 1-point lead.
The 3 fouls on Monica is definitely, at this point, the big turning point of the game. She's probably not going to come back until late in the third quarter. If then, depends on the score.
And Abby McKieran was lucky enough to get out of the first half with only 2 fouls, and nobody else has more than 1 for the Phantoms.
Yep.
So with that having been said, we'll be back for the second half shortly. All right, so we're back getting ready for the second half. Coach, what do you think? What do you think we're going to need to see for Proctor to pull out another victory here?
Well, I'd like to see, to be honest with you, I'd like to see Liz move down underneath.
Olivia?
Olivia.
Yeah.
She's got the height on everybody, and she started the game off with a nice touch, left-handed layup, and she's going to rebound if she does miss, but she's not doing much out front. If she were shooting the ball and scoring, I would say no, leave her out there. But she's not. So I really think I'd love to see her down under. She could do so much damage.
Well, one of the things Proctor definitely has to clean up is the turnover situation. They've done a decent job on the boards, but they've given away a lot of possessions with turnovers. And some of it is needless. It's just impatience. And I think you're going to need to see some of that cut down. If they play a little bit more efficiently in this half, they ought to do okay.
Hey, I'll mark it, double off the screen, Mark.
Oh.
Yep. That's Proctor does a good job of getting back on defense. Abby's got to learn, though, that against better teams, you can't just dribble through them like they're, Black River, Long Trail, or some of the teams that are of less strength in the Division IV rankings. Jenna Eaton heats up. I believe that that was a 3.
Bad ball.
No wonder it's so low scoring.
Apparently a boys' ball has been introduced into the girls' game. So we'll have a stoppage in play.
Well, Monica's starting the second half again with 3 fouls. I'm shocked.
All right, now that we have our balls sorted, Olivia for 3, drains it. Oh, no, for 2. Hate to tell you what I told her at halftime.
Well,
but nice looking shot.
Makes my theory look bad.
That foul's on Lexi Bride. That's her second, team's first. Schmelzenbach out top, looking for an angle. She likes to get to the rim. Jenna Eaton will bomb away. Elms off the mark, Olivia on the boards. Bringing the ball up herself. Ball goes over to Lexi, who turns it over. Luckily, ball's bouncing around in there, stays with the Phantoms.
Hit you down, stay key. Hit you down. Key, stay here. Stay key. Pitch down, pitch.
Oh.
There you go, get around it, there you go.
Olivia with another jumper, drops it in.
Like what I'm seeing there.
No, that's what I was seeing all through AAU season, and for whatever reason, throughout this season, you hadn't seen that much of it. But she's obviously come to play today. Nice rebound again by Sierra Thornton. Brings the ball out, and Proctor is now tied up the score.
Head, there you go.
Abby trying to get through.
Boy.
Gets forced out, but somehow the ball remains with Proctor.
Get around.
That old force-out rule doesn't exist anymore.
Get that ball.
Sierra a little
slow and
slow on the trigger there. Isabel was standing wide open at the three-point line. Her sister didn't miss her, but Isabel missed that shot. Nevertheless, here comes MSJ. Abby and Jenna dribbling the ball at the same time up the floor. Nice closeout by Emma.
There. Oh. Was that on Abby?
Foul that time on Isabel Valerio. It's her second. Puts Jenna to the line. She rattles in the first. Gives MSJ a 1-point lead. Jenna typically a pretty good free throw shooter, and don't think I didn't do that on purpose. Here comes Emma Reichert. And those forays that she made yesterday against, she's got to get the ball to a guard, to be perfectly honest. Yesterday she was doing that in the Black River game, but we're not playing Black River anymore.
Nope.
And the defense is too good. The athletes are too good. Good steal by Abby that time. Olivia from deep, off the mark that time. Got to get back. Here goes Abby all the way to the rim. Doesn't finish that time. Proctor down by 3. Here comes Jenna Eaton with the ball. This time, Izzy Harvey hits it and puts MSJ up by 5.
They're beating the Phantoms up the court.
And that's the one thing you don't really want to do is run with these guys. Now I will say that the way that the Phantoms were able to control that in the first game was by controlling the boards.
Yep.
And that prevented MSJ from running. The last probably 2 minutes, MSJ has been able to get up and down the floor. After Proctor had come back and tied the score at 19, MSJ rips off a 5-point run and now has a 5-point lead with 4:18 left in the third quarter.
Phantoms are going to get that good shot and take it. And cut down on those turnovers.
Everybody wants to win so bad in this game that sometimes you want to be a hero. And you can't be a hero, you just got to know your role and do the best you can.
Abby's driven to the hoop I don't know how many times, and so far there's been no foul.
Yep.
And she's used to getting a call.
She's been swallowed up a lot. Swinging the ball on the outside. High screen by Reichert. There goes Olivia all the way to the hoop. Boy, did she get the body. Oh my God. I don't know how. I have no idea how that's not a foul.
I don't either.
She literally dipped her shoulder into her chest and knocked her off the ball, and that was not a foul. Very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Good defense by Abby in the corner. Ball swung around. Schmelzenbach out top looking for an angle. Doesn't quite have one. Olivia comes to help.
Unbelievable.
Now that looked like less of a foul than the one before. Nevertheless, foul on Rapino, which I believe is her
Get
third.
her out of there.
She was lucky she didn't have 4 at this point.
I know.
Boy, they got to finish those inside. I know she got to the line, and that's a good thing, but wow, wide open. Proctor now down by 7 with 3:16 left in the third.
You got to stop the bleeding right here.
Nice shot by Emma. It's the second one. And a perfect at the line so far today. Proctor draws to within 5. Ooh, that's if you're up. You got to get up on that. Olivia with another rebound, brings it up herself this time. Double dribble this time. On Schmelzenbach. The thing that I didn't like about that is 3 of the 5 Proctor defenders didn't get over half court.
Oh.
Let's go.
5 seconds.
Foul that time on number 5, Gabby Giancola. Isabel Valerio in the corner for 3 off the mark. There's Sierra Thornton again with a rebound. Unfortunately turns the ball over.
Turnover.
Foul that time on Thornton. That's her second.
Elbow. It's a good call.
Push off that time on Izzy Harvey. Ball comes over to the Phantoms. That's her first foul. Here comes the Phantoms with a chance to cut into that 5-point lead again. They've definitely had their chances. They just haven't capitalized.
Another turnover. Right now the Phantoms are, nobody wants the ball.
Ball stays with the Phantoms. Abby a little bit out of control with that drive, trying to draw the foul.
Yep.
Problem is she's going into bigs, and those bigs aren't yielding like you see in other situations.
No, there's a good foul.
Yep,
If you're going to make a foul, that's a good foul.
Prevented the shot. Foul on Isabel, that's her third.
That's 3 on it.
Foul should be on the floor. I don't think they're shooting on that.
Not sure. We've got to make a move right here. We've got to get the ball down low. And get the 2 points plus a foul. We're not getting the outside shot. They shut that right off.
And, one of the things I noticed in the first game against MSJ is they had Abby running the baseline off of 2 screens to get her outside shot. This time she seems to be spending a lot of time near the top of the key, and I wonder if they should do what they did during that first game, put Sierra Thornton at the top of the key, get Liv in the block, and have Abby running the baseline, see if they can get her some shots beyond the arc, because, hit a couple of 3-pointers and everything is, right where you like it, but problem is that they're not getting any shots.
Not getting them. Five seconds.
Nice defense that time. Proctor clogged the middle, and Abby defended, denied the ball to the cutting individual. Schmelzenbach out top. Olivia contesting that shot. Rebound by Reichert. Here comes Lexi Bride. Not exactly sure what she has in mind with these. It was 1-on-3. You got possession. You got the ball.
We're in a situation there that we got to understand what we can do with the ball when we have it. And I don't think that was the case there. But right now, got to get the ball in the hands of the shooters.
Nice pass inside. See, there's a couple free passes and a layup.
Nine seconds, 8 seconds.
Only 5 left in the quarter. Good defense by Reichert. And that ends the quarter. Proctor lost that quarter by 4 points, and they played worse than that.
Yeah.
So they're only down by 5 going into the fourth quarter.
I go back to what I said in the first half. It was the worst first half I've seen. That was the worst quarter I've seen. However, they're only 5 down.
And it really comes down to, to be honest, it comes down to turnovers.
Yep.
You take care of the ball, you probably win this game. And, there's nothing wrong if you're Abby McCarran with driving the lane and pulling up and shooting a 10 or, 12-foot jump shot. But when you take it right to the chest of the defenders, they're so much bigger. They're just standing there with their hands up and catching the ball.
That's all.
So, it's not like she can't get by the first man, but they have a nice collapsing help defense, and that's causing problems. All right, let's see what happens. MSJ with the ball out of bounds to start the fourth quarter. Proctor down by 5. Back screen by Rapino on the weak side, trying to free up Schmelzenbach. Schmelzenbach in the corner, back over to Eaton. Dribbling out top, over to Giancola, back to Eaton. Proctor playing some pretty good defense, double by Lexi Bride that time. Gabby Giancola steps in and drains one. Geez, I didn't know what the reason for that double team was.
That's a big bucket.
Hand check that time. With all the contact you're seeing out there, I don't know that the hand check is the best.
I don't like that call. Yeah, mighty.
Schmelzenbach drains that one right in her face, and now they've extended to a 9-point lead. Proctor hasn't really gotten a decent shot off in about 4 minutes.
What do we got here?
I'm sure that's not the shot that they were looking for. Nevertheless, Here comes MSJ, this time with a 9-point lead. Abby playing some good pressure defense out top. 30-second timeout by Coach Elliott.
MSJ's capitalized on the phantom mistakes without a doubt. Now that's really the difference in the game. Phantom to turn the ball up. You're keeping track of turnovers?
Yeah, I'm keeping track of them. Some of them are tougher than others. It's one of the...
There are many. Oh, yeah.
So it's, some of it's not just turnovers, but putting themselves in positions where they aren't going to get good shots.
No. Proctor's getting beat all over the court right now. Off the boards. They're getting out hustled.
To be honest, they look tired almost.
Yeah, they do.
And I wonder if that game last night, back to back. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Steal that time by Emma. It's again one of those situations where you get possession, look for a guard. You're the 4, you're the 5. Look for the people who you have who handle the ball. They're trying to run a 1-3-1 trap, and whoever is on the weak side is not filling in. All right, now here's a rebound and the ball to the guard, and we'll see what happens.
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
MSJ's getting a hand on everything. And here comes McCarron with the steal. Oh boy, she didn't even look up. That time, Olivia was standing right under the hoop and not a pass in sight. Foul that time on Rapino. That's her 4th, team's 5th. Puts Reichert to the line. These are important. That one off the mark. Rapino coming out, Eaton coming back in. Actually, that's Jean Cola coming back in. This is the second. 9-point lead. 4:50 left in the 4th. And even though that lead is not insurmountable, Proctor doesn't seem to be playing in a way that could close out that time. Proctor's got to get up, though. Geez, it looked like Abby stepped right in and just intercepted the ball, but apparently he called a push. Even when Proctor gets a break, they don't get a break. Kick by Olivia that time. When it comes right down to it, too, aside from the turnovers, Proctor hasn't hit shots.
No.
And pretty much aside from Olivia in this game, there has been no consistent offense. And I don't know why they aren't going back to her, to be honest.
I don't either.
I don't know how many. There's a turnover and a foul. Isabel Valerio checking in. I don't know who she's coming in for.
Lexus.
It's 3:42 left. It's a 9-point lead.
Jake, 1 ball.
And Proctor still has a chance to get back in this, but they've got to hit a couple of shots. They're doing a decent job on the defensive end, but
they have no rhythm in their offense.
yeah, the ball movement isn't there, and you know, you got to give some credit to MSJ for that. They're playing some very good defense, swallowing up Abby McKieran every time she goes to the hoop. And Abby is smart enough where she should know that she can penetrate and kick the ball. Good box out by Olivia that time. Another Isabel with a jump shot. I know they're looking to score threes. You got to get right up. If you can't touch them, you're too far away at this point in the game. Ball's tied up. This time possession goes over to Proctor. Not much time went off the clock that time. Proctor's just got to hit some shots.
3:13 to go. It's now or ever.
Little ball movement.
Never for Proctor.
Can't be afraid to shoot them just because you miss a couple. Bottom line is the team needs it. Here comes Abby trying to get to the hoop. Cut off again by Schmelzenbach. Isabel drains one.
Still time.
Definitely needed that.
Still time. 6-point lead. Double.
Looked like she traveled, but was able to put the ball in. Gets that shot back. Now it's an 8-point lead. Proctor inching back, but got to inch a little faster.
Yeah.
But it is 8. You know, they can cut it to 5 on a 3.
Oh, as long as they've still got a lot of time left.
A lot of time left. Again, one of the things I don't understand is that when you seem to have a matchup that's going in your favor and that person is doing well, why you don't go back to it.
That's why I gave up coaching. It's turned me gray so quick.
Okay, 2:23 left. If Proctor's going to make a move, they better do it quick. High double screen. Isabel turns for 2. Down to a 6-point lead. Proctor all over him in the backcourt.
Well, we have some movement.
Well, Proctor got some hands on the ball that time, but ball is out of bounds off Proctor to MSJ. Rapinoe coming back into the game, checking in for Izzy Harvey.
Could use a turnover here.
Blue ball off Proctor.
No.
I think what they want to do is foul on the defensive end. They're going to go, probably going to go defense, offense. Make them earn it from the line. MSJ working the ball around. Ooh, almost an opportunity that point. Got to get right up on him. Abby with the steal. And Proctor doesn't gain possession.
Four.
That's her fourth, but it puts MSJ on the line and stops the clock. Can't say they're high pressure. So 1-1. Misses the first. Rebound to Reichert. Someone's got to get the ball. Here comes McCarron. Pulls up for a deep three. Off the mark. Ball goes off of Rapinoe. Meredith Parker coming out and Isabel Valerio going in. Just off the mark with that one. Not a bad shot, but no, they got to hit them now. It doesn't matter if they're good shots or not. Good play that time. Stops the clock. Puts Gabby Giancola at the line. Got to make sure they get the rebound.
2-possession game right now.
Got to get that rebound. That's probably the story of this game.
Yep.
Is that MSJ has done a decent job on the boards. It was a long rebound, tough to get to, but you got to get to it.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. They're going to play some offense, defense. As we can see, Meredith Parker is going to check in for Isabel Valerio. Probably commit another foul and see if they can get him to the line with 43 seconds left. And on the change of possession, probably you'll see Isabel go back in for offense.
There's still time. 6-point game, 43 seconds. A 2-possession game right now.
If I were in that huddle, one of the things I'd be telling them is if you can't touch them right now, you're too far away. Forget about help side. Just make sure your person doesn't get the ball, no matter who it is. And if they do, smack the crap out of them. Put them right on the line.
She's got the foul right now. Can't wait.
I know that Abby's got... Ball stays in MSJ possession. However, every time they do it, they're burning precious seconds off the clock. Now it's down to 34. Abby doesn't want to foul, but at some point you got to put him on the line.
don't quite understand the move of putting Parker in if we aren't going to foul.
Isabel Valerio going back in the game, probably for Parker. Gabby Giancola again at the line. I don't think it's a place that she gets to late in the game very often, but she drains that one. Meredith coming out. Lead is now 7, and that's big. That 1 point is big.
Third possession there.
And she hits the second one, and now it's a 3-possession game under the best of circumstances. And Abby off the mark that time. And MSJ finishes that off. Proctor will run out the clock. Abby will take a 30-footer, 40-footer, and MSJ comes into the Bajani gym and takes a 10-point win. So in the last 2 weeks, probably what would be considered the 2 of the best teams in Division 4 have exchanged the favor on each other. Proctor winning over at MSJ a week ago, and MSJ coming into Proctor and winning today. Proctor definitely had its problems with turnovers and sort of shot selection. MSJ held their own on the boards, and that's pretty much the story of the game.
Proctor, they just shot themselves in the foot all night. Turnover. And they never could get their offense really clicking. Liz, a few times, got it going when she, the second quarter, I believe it was. And then after that, she didn't see the ball.
And that's almost hard to explain. Nevertheless, we'll wait for the official score to finish up.
It'll be interesting. Proctor still has Woodchester here. I'm not sure when that game is.
That's the last game of the regular season next Friday.
Thank you, honey.
A week from Friday, and running down the final scoring. Jenna Eaton had 6. Gabby Giancola had 8. Izzy Harvey had 2. Shannon Elms had 4. Monica Schmelzenbeck had 8, and Emily Rapino had 9. For the Phantoms, Isabel Valerio had 5. Abby McCarron had 2, and that was huge.
Yeah.
Olivia Valerio had 12. Lexi Bride had 3, and Emma Reichert had 6, for a total of 28. Final score here from the Bajani Gym is MSJ 38, Proctor 28. And I would not be surprised to see these 2 teams facing each other at some point at the Berry Auditorium.
Yep, we definitely will.
Okay, we'll see you next time.